It's Monday, August 25th, and it's Politics with Pierre. Welcome to another session of Politics with Pierre. Today, we're going to talk about poverty and hunger right here in America, right here in New York City. In other countries, we use the terminology hunger, starvation, but in America, we use this fancy term, food insecurity. This essentially means that folks are hungry and that folks are struggling to pay for food and folks are struggling to access healthy foods, right? So this has been a growing issue. It was an issue before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and it's an issue after the pandemic. So right here in New York State, over 3 million people benefit from SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps, to help them pay for food for their family, for their children, for their loved ones, right? And then right here in New York City, over 1 million people benefit from SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps. So part of the reason is because of the high poverty rate right here in New York City that we often don't talk about. So New York City has a poverty rate that's twice the national average. So the poverty rate in New York City is over 20%. You have over 20% of the population that benefits from food stamp so that they can provide food for their families, right? So we know that under the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, access to food is a basic human right that is not honored, right? So it is a huge problem, and it's only getting worse with the changes that are being made at the federal government. So in the tax and spending bill that was passed and signed into law last month, there will be changes to social service programs, and one of those programs are SNAP benefits, right? So they're going to be changing the eligibility requirements, and also states will have to carry more of the burden of the cost for providing SNAP benefits. So states will have to now carry more of the administrative cost for food stamps, and they will actually have to carry a share of the SNAP benefit payments, right? So this is a huge issue, and right here in New York State is going to cost New York State as much as $1.4 billion. So as a result of these changes, some folks will be kicked off of SNAP benefits, and some folks will see the amount that they have to pay for food decrease. So it is a growing problem that is only getting worse because of the poverty rate. There are some neighborhoods and communities in New York City that has a poverty rate that's over 35%. Over 35%. And that means that for some children, for some students, they only get a decent meal when they go to school. And that is the reason why there was such pushback to closing down the schools at the start of the pandemic. And that's why there was a rush to get students back into the schools because kids are not getting a healthy meal. And with these changes to food stamps and SNAP benefits, people will now not have the same access to healthy foods, which means that you're going to have more folks that have heart problems, that suffer from diabetes, high cholesterol. And this is also going to put a strain and burden on our healthcare system at a time when there are cuts that are going to be made to Medicaid. So what are some of the things that you can do? Call up your local elected official, call up your community leaders and tell them to oppose these cuts that are taking place at the federal government. If you know somebody that's in need, share lists of food pantries, food distribution sites, and please volunteer at a food distribution site. Help set up a food pantry program. So let's spread the word, let's spread the message that right here in America, right here in New York City, there is a huge food insecurity and hunger issue. I hope that you share this video. Have a great day.